Low levels of carbon found. Medium
Man.
levels of aluminum found.
Honestly, guys, I don't know exactly how short I'm going to cut it today. It might be pretty fast. This won't be the last game. But this might even just be the next to last game.
Expansive colony found.
Because I am super tired and I have so much to do. To catch up on right now. That,
Low levels of iron
I don't want to push.
Low
Oh,
levels
wow.
of silicon
Okay.
found.
Hold on. Yeah. Can't quite get it the way I want to. That's fine. We'll just produce a bunch of steel. Hopefully that'll be fine. Steel's getting bought up in the short term, so with any luck we'll be alright. Okay, let's see. Is everybody going into aluminum production, or what? Like, Clark's down, Bradbury's down. Clark has some aluminum coming in, so I could even sell out of aluminum and let him sell aluminum to try and push for his upgrade. But he probably already has all the steel he needs, so that might not be the best idea. Might actually try and make glass this game. Obviously there's decent water to use. Go ahead and upgrade. Do I just want to go completely into something like food? I could try and make it work. I'd be skipping aluminum if I did that. There's some aluminum on the map. It's not great, but I think I might need to take some. Just to have that trickle coming in, just in case things go a little haywire. Don't really want to go into water. He's already in water. This guy's already in good water. Like, he's already got so much water coming in, that just feels unnecessary. Tell you what, we'll sell some steel. We'll go for some pirates. Pirates aren't that good, but they could be used against us fairly effectively. Potentially, so... It's another nice clump of water over here. Something to look at. 10,000. Alright. Not a lot of steel coming down for Clark, so that's good. Unfortunately, the other two players are scavengers. And probably won't be helping out too much. Okay, let's go ahead and grab this aluminum. We got the pirates. Let's go ahead and throw down the fuel. Okay, more steel coming down. That sucks. That means our steel's not going to be making us a whole lot of money. Let's get into glass quickly. Let's grab up the glass we're going to need. Could even consider grabbing a whole bunch of glass if we can pull it off. Now that he's moved into steel, like, we don't need to worry too much about destroying this steel price, because it also destroys it for him, and he's making the same amount we are. And his is costing him iron, so, you know, that's all pretty fantastic for us if we can drive him out of that market by tanking the price in the short term. Grabbing up all this glass to kind of keep him from upgrading effectively. Maybe enough, if we can pull it off, to throw down like 3 farms over here in this nice little water area. Could work out pretty well for us. So I think that's what we're going to try and do. Yeah, look at all your steel losing you money now. Exactly, jerk. Alright, there's all the glass we need. We're still sitting on pirates, which is nice. We'll have to look at power before long. Obviously, we're not grabbing any new claims off the black market. As we do stuff like this, hopefully we'll still be okay, though. That is a lot of aluminum coming in for Bradbury. Okay. We still have a little bit trickle here. Maybe this should have been power. Oh well. No geotherms to take on the map right now for us. That's okay. We can always just turn this into power later if we have to. Yeah, he's getting in our way with our food production potentially. But with any luck, we'll still be alright. We can maybe grab up those tiles in that corner there. We're just waiting on the steel and aluminum right now. That's it. That's all there is to do. Just sit here and wait.
Expansive colony expanded.
There we go. Got the fuel. Upgrade. 1, 2, 3. We'll have to consider power at some point as well, which probably will mean a new claim rather than anything else. But we've got the glass coming in. Steel's doing fine. The next shipment will give us quite a bit of money from our fuel. And maybe we'll just put power down next to this aluminum here. That's probably okay. And a little more. Well, no, we need a claim first. Come on. How's the fuel doing? $24 a second. Yeah, the fuel's just... Ah, man, it's not near so good as it used to be for some reason. I don't know what the deal is there, because it produces at the same amount. It feels like people maybe are just playing better and consuming less of it. Also, this guy has fuel down, which is hurting again, right? That gets kind of old when you're early into fuel, and then somebody else just pops right in your fuel market, because it's easy to move into. It's like, thanks, dude. You just killed both of us, but whatever. We're late to this claim, which sucks. This is kind of expensive for our blood right now. And this guy's also moving into fuel. Sheesh, guys. You guys are nuts. All right. This is part of why we only committed 2, because eventually it was going to be just not very worthwhile, and our farms are better, substantially, than all these guys throwing down fuel. Man, you guys are crazy. Okay. And let's go ahead and... we could even move our fuel into power, potentially. Like, it's costing us money actively in power right now, all this fuel. So I'm really tempted just to do this instead. Like... there. There you go. Now we just push for more upgrades. These steel mills are also costing a ridiculous amount in power, but frankly they're just costing power, so I'm still probably just going to leave them online. Yeah, you guys, good luck with your fuel production. Just congratulations on that. We're still just sitting on the pirates, but I think we've spotted something we can use them with, which is this silicon that's coming in here. Because we drove up the price on silicon pretty well by getting into power. Everybody else is probably also going to be trying to move into power. So with any luck, we'll be okay here. Now, we need to look at grabbing up the glass we're going to need for an expansion, because we never actually moved into glass furnaces, like I talked about doing. I don't really want to sell steel for that, because this guy's not making steel anymore, so steel's going to keep going up. I think 60 is what I need. Yep, 60 for the expansion. We're not making any aluminum either, but aluminum's not all that expensive. And a lot of people are moving out of it. So there, we pushed to our expansion. That's good. We can go ahead and maybe move this back into aluminum before long, but not right away. And what we're going to do here is just grab up these 3 tiles and move into glass furnaces as fast as we can manage. Once all this food has come in. A solar flare is actually kind of nice for us at the moment. We should get a goon squad off the black market shortly, but first I want to grab up and make sure we've got this glass production secured. There we go. We'll get a nice engineering lab down. We'll grab a goon. We're going to plant it here, because this is a kind of important set of tiles for us right now. It's making us a ridiculous amount of money, as is this tile, off this solar flare. Food's still doing nicely. Water is getting quite valuable, and we could consider moving into it before too long. Okay, this guy's grabbing up some silicon here. Whoa, I never got this third one down. Shoot, I don't even know how that happened. And we are sitting on all kinds of money, having paid off a substantial amount of debt. It's almost tempting to try and grab up Bradbury, who wasn't in power, completely missed the boat on that one. Alright, pirates are still good against us, so we'll bid on those. Steel, like we were talking about, steel has come back up. He'll need to potentially try and move back into it before too long here. He's actually got glass furnaces going down instead, which I think is probably a mistake, given the price of steel right now and the price of silicon. 5,000 for pirates. I will take that. Hopefully our pirates steal enough of this silicon coming in, which is coming in quite quickly, quite frankly, that we'll be able to... Whoa, that also explains the steel price. Whoa, I didn't want to buy into it that much. Okay, there. That's a bit more reasonable. And once again, thankfully we're making steel, so this actually works in our favor. We can maybe even try upgrading steel production. It does explain why steel was so expensive, because the scavengers saw this coming and bought into it. But they didn't have enough purchasing power to do too much to all the prices. And now we have a ridiculous amount of cash. What does it take to actually just straight up buy him? 100, yeah, about twice what we actually have right now, but that's okay. I don't think anybody has anywhere near as much cash as we do. He's the one buying into himself, which is totally fine. He wants to go ahead and do that. We're still stealing a lot from him with the pirates. We have an extra set of pirates just in case we need to toss those down. Hopefully it won't be necessary. And with any luck, we'll get this buyout done, and it will secure us a significant portion of the game. Upgrade steel again, because it's still holding strong. We can just take the buyout now. We should have just taken the buyout when we could have, because then Asimov wouldn't have gotten any cash off of it. He's sitting on about 31,000. Clark's on about the same amount of money. We're on less than they are, but we've got the territory, right? We have the territory. It'll be making us a fair amount of cash. Obviously, these glass furnaces can stay on. This one should shut down. There we go. Clark's defending himself, so that's fine by us as well. Food came down quite heavily. Yeah, a lot of these guys in things like food and glass. They were just a bit slower than we were, and we stayed in that steel market that was quite valuable. Go ahead and freeze that out. Let's see. Don't necessarily want to upgrade steel again. What do we want to upgrade if we don't upgrade steel? We could just upgrade chems and head into that market. Head in that market direction. Got some pirates here. Oh yeah, we'll take this guy's silicon. Totally.
Pirates. I hate
That's totally reasonable. If I'd seen that earlier, I would have gotten it earlier. Actually. And how are Offworlds looking? Because we should be considering that upgrade and such. Okay, Offworlds are amazing again. So it's tempting to throw down even more steel production, quite frankly. The glass is still going strong enough. Silicon's good. The food's not good, but we don't really have to move out of it because it's kind of okay that it's not good. Let's see. This power doesn't really need to be power anymore. I guess we can move into some reactors. Carbon is absolutely fantastic and is making us more money than almost anything else we're doing right now, interestingly enough. These glass furnaces have been losing money. I don't know why they've been active this whole time. Teleportation. Sheesh, this is it's kind of a game changer in a lot of ways. Do I really get this for 4,000? Okay, no. People are paying enough attention that I don't get it for 4,000. Sheesh, guys. Don't get me excited like that if you're not going to follow through. Okay, let's go ahead and move into chem production here. Because I'm not too worried about the carbon cost. Oh, I just let it go for 12. Are you serious? I thought they would keep bidding for a while, and then it just went away for 12. And I was like, what? At least he's not getting much use out of it, but it still sucks not to have it, because I could get a lot of use out of it. Oh, man. That was a bad misplay on my part. Okay. I really want to push to an Offworld, which means upgrading. Which means I need glass, steel, and aluminum. Okay, there, an upgrade. Steel is still ridiculous. We'll just throw down extra steel and move them into something else later if we have to. This glass furnace can turn back on. That's fine. These chems are absolutely amazing. Let's add to them. This fuel really could also switch into chems pretty easily. The only downside here is I'm spending steel in huge quantities making all these transitions. Sure, more steel right here, why not? And then a patent lab that hopefully we can eventually turn into an Offworld later. Down here. That'll work. Chems here again. Chems. No, I ran out of claims. Shoot, that was a mistake. Whatever. It's probably still better to have the chem lab than the reactor there. We've got reactors down over here, which are working quite well. We can even get out of our food and move into reactors here. Hopefully that'll be all right. And then we need a little more power, which will probably mean getting rid of these water pumps and just going into more solar panels here. Now we're planning to send fuel off-world. So let's go ahead and start beefing up that fuel production now. And see if we can go ahead and make that push to an off-world market before we have to play around in the stock market all that much more. Okay, sell down chems. There we are. We'll actually just trade out this tile and head to thinking machines right away. Go ahead and defend it once, since goons are still super cheap. I also wanted slant drilling, because as we can see, the things on top of iron are doing much better than the things not on top of iron. But, and this guy's having to move back into his metal mines. His steel still isn't doing very good. Here, enjoy your steel. There, I fixed it for you. Okay, let's go ahead and turn off these steel mills rather than moving them into anything else for the time being.
Expansive colony expanded.
And upgrade our fuel production again. That's still our off-world game plan. That fuel production. Chem's doing... Chems are chems. They're not all that good, but they're working away for us. Carbon scrubbing already got taken, which kind of sucks. Thankfully, there is plenty of carbon nearby, and I can just drop electronics on top of it if I need to, which I probably will. A lot of aluminum we can go ahead and sell down. Should be fine. I'm going to go ahead and kick on slant drilling. Just because I can. Alright, who has threatening amounts of anything? Nobody. Nobody has threatening amounts of anything whatsoever. We could even maybe push to another off-world fairly easily here. Oh, I got that. Cool. That means I don't need to scrap. Let's just throw that down right there. Cool. Okay, glass is all doing alright. This should be a fairly won game at this point. I'm just really far ahead. As long as I don't do anything too stupid, I'll be fine. There we go. Start the off-world sends, keep upgrading our fuel production to make sure we can keep using the off-world. Nope, that's reasonable. I'll take it. Steel's still all doing just fine, making huge amounts of money. Slant drilling would still be kind of cool. Moving into electronics would also be kind of cool. This guy. Getting in my way. Jerk. Carbon's still doing fine for the moment. Like, we'll move it into electronics before long. But first, I do want a few more claims, which means going ahead and grabbing this upgrade. Clark's going after us. How much are you sitting on, Clark? Nowhere near enough. Alright, that's fine. Send a little more fuel. Just make sure it's all queued up. Alright, Clark. Let's do this race. What's Asimov upset about? Well, yeah, the map was kind of awful.
Look at all
In a lot of ways, the map was pretty darn awful. There was not a lot of iron. I mean, there was iron up here that he could have used, but that would have been really hard to find. So I don't even really blame him for that. Let's turn these chems off so they aren't just burning cash the whole time. Let's get rid of these, get into electronics. All right, they're both buying into me. That should be okay, I think.
stock is being bought.
Buy in that last little bit of Clark. We'll buy up the rest of myself at that point. Let's try. Actually, I don't want to sell that. I want to make sure I've got it sending.
Your stock is being bought.
There we go. Now we'll sell out some of it. We've got plenty of sends going. This steel, I need to figure out if I can move it into anything else. Like maybe electronics. Maybe I can upgrade my electronics production now. Maybe I can make some food. Steel just doesn't need to be steel anymore, though. Or I could just convert it into more money by trying to get to the point where I can make more Offworlds.
Offworld
That could work out okay.
Look at all the money.
Alright, let's buy into some Asimov. Hopefully that'll be alright. Because it's all fairly cheap at the moment.
Offworld
Yep,
ship.
got plenty of fuel at this point going
Look
on.
at all the money.
The electronics, how's it doing? It's fine. These, man, I don't know what to turn anything into. Let's actually get rid of these. Turn them into water pumps. We're mutinied somewhere. On an off-world market. We'll take it back. Thank you very much. It's not very long, but we may as well keep it when mutinies are this cheap. Pirates are pretty good. We'll start buying into Asimov a bit more. Sitting on 2 claims I really should use somewhere. And maybe even just throw down more water and be like, hey, look at all the water. Targeted by dynamite on the off-world. That we can start fixing right away. It costs us $2,000 to fix. Not a big deal. Let's actually move these into iron for the time being. I still don't know what to do with these like spare tiles to the side here, and I'm kind of just leaving them alone. That way they can't bite me too hard if I do anything stupid with them. Alright, food we definitely want to get into. I'm actually going to go ahead and move these into food, interestingly enough, right now. The dust storm is hurting, that's why the production looks so bad, but hopefully it'll be okay. Beef up our food production a bit. We have plenty of water coming in. I could have moved these into food, but I kind of want to be getting both. So I'm still reasonably okay with using the tiles in the way we did. Keep buying into Asimov, who has no money to defend himself whatsoever. There, chems are what we heavily bought into, because it's very unlikely anybody is in chems or has a large stockpile whatsoever. Sell everything down, 264,000. Not going to rush the Asimov buy. Should be okay to just kind of step it up from where it's at right now. Clark's sitting on some amount of money, but obviously he's basically saving up all of that in the hopes that he'll kill us off at some point. It's not going to happen, but it's a nice idea. And now we need 305,000 to finish off Clark, who needs way more to take us down. And we're already much, much closer to it than he is. A couple more off-world sends basically do it on their own. Fuel's down at $1. Food and water making us ridiculous amounts. Go ahead and turn off our fuel. Carbon's doing just fine. We have all the carbon on the map right now. And it was a pretty frustrating map is what it looks like. 332,000. There it is. Ooh. Got it done. That was fine. It was a nice, simple little game. We got to do what we wanted to do in particular, which was just kind of go scientific in a really good... Like, we got a really amazing scientific spot on a map that was pretty darn bad. And it doesn't look like it at first glance because you look at it and it's like, well, there's not a lot going on there, right? But there's just enough. And the scientific doesn't need too much, right? Obviously, it would have been better if we had water close to us too, right? But realistically, the thing about playing scientific is when you get iron and silicon right next to each other, yes, water resources are nice. They're good. They get you some money. But if you can go ahead and just kind of secure that territory that guarantees you'll be able to do upgrades no matter what, you're in a good spot. And scientifics can do that quite easily with just some iron and silicon nearby. Like aluminum almost always goes pretty low in price these days. And if it doesn't, okay, grab a little bit. And if it does, then you don't need to worry about it. And it was a really good scientific spot on a pretty darn bad map. Like, There were what, 2 silicon here, so 3 silicon, sorry, 3 carbon for this player. For a scavenger, 3 carbon, that's nothing. He basically had to engineering lab that up in order to stay in the game if he wanted to. Significantly more carbon up here that I think these guys should have moved into maybe a bit more heavily, but it was still kind of an awkward map with both of them ending up in craters. That was kind of difficult to use. With the last patch of iron being up here, our expansive player got a decent found, but I think he rushed it, where he only had like 2 low iron and then a high aluminum nearby, and then this patch of water. And you can use that. You can definitely use that, but it's a little low on the iron. And he actually went for very little iron at the start of the game, and we saw that hurt him, where he just sat there with like 3 useless tiles for a significant amount of the game, because we moved into steel and we tanked the price very specifically in order to shut down his tiles, because we knew he would still need glass to upgrade, and we had already successfully driven up glass while tanking steel, so he wasn't going to be able to move through the game effectively at all. And then the other 2 players being scavenger, tanking steel does nothing to hurt or help them, obviously, but driving up glass hurts them. So because we were able to so effectively move into that base resource and then so easily drive up glass in order to move into the valuable food, that's pretty much honestly where the game was won in that first like 6 minutes. Okay, this is all kind of formalities. We did a lot of buying and selling that game because we didn't need all that much money. And then obviously a lot of the buying happened during the Marsquake, and then the rest of it was like for, I think, an upgrade and then a couple off-world markets, and that was it. So yeah, it was a reasonably well done game. It was fairly simple. Glass made us obviously a lot of money. Steel made us a lot when it needed to, right? And then we bought it when we didn't care anymore. So steel was actually a lot bigger that game than these numbers suggest even. Chems, not so big a deal. I really hate chems. Chems are the worst resource in the game, in my opinion, at this point, besides power. Power is the worst resource in the game. Chems are second, with electronics being third, and it's just, man, chems are so bad most of the time. And then Trending Robin was apparently the player that we knocked out very, very quickly. He had the right ideas, but couldn't quite get the execution down, is what it looked like. Like having just 2 glass furnaces, 2 reactors, he didn't know when he could fully commit into the triangle. And given that the triangle is twice as much production as the just pair, the triangle is pretty darn important. Okay, well, that's going to do it for that game. I'll host another one.